All right. We're back at it.
Today's topic, we're going to have a good old-fashioned versus match. Men versus the little impubescent women.
Men versus the women who are secretly the controllers behind it all.
You mean boys rule, girls drool?
I mean, girls are the worst. Damn it. Girls are the best. I'm
Point
not good
to
at this.
TJ.
I'm not
Point
good
to
at being mean. I'm not good at being
Point
mean.
to Gryffindor.
I'm not good at being mean.
It's okay. Anyways, because today we're going to be talking about what is the most unattractive feature in the opposite sex. We're going to try to understand both sides of the aisle. So we'll allow each person to talk from their gender's perspective, and then try to understand, can we reach to a common ground in this? And it's like, oh, maybe this makes sense. Maybe this will help you out in your relationship. Maybe it won't. Maybe it'll make you realize that women suck. And because I'm a gentleman, I'll let the girl go first.
Oh my God. You're already acting like this is a contest. This
It
is not
is
a
a contest.
contest. It's an opinion.
I've already won.
It's an opinion.
And my opinion is right.
Well, that's actually a perfect segue into what I find to be one of the most unattractive features in a man, and that is when they're a know-it-all.
If you know it all, you know it all. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, so when a man is a know-it-all, they don't leave any room or space for the woman to have input into quality conversation or have input into decision making. If they act like they know everything already, it's not going to be a healthy relationship between two whole individuals, because it's going to be one person knowing everything and controlling it all. So that's my most unattractive feature in a man. What say you?
What did say I? I think that I can understand that to an extent. I think men. So women tend to date up anyway, so I think men tend to be a little bit older and have a little bit more life experience. So there may be a reason why they have more to say. And then also, I mean, depending on your age, right? Like, if you're a girl and your only interest is, makeup and going to fucking music festivals, you probably don't know that much. I'm just gonna be honest. So you may not have a large breadth of experience to talk from.
Yeah.
Versus someone who's in the military, went through schooling, got their bachelor's, graduates, and had a whole bunch of life experience, worked in the real world, worked in high profile positions. They're probably going to have a little bit more to say about different scenarios,
about different topics that are in their wheelhouse of wisdom.
Yeah,
I get that. It's an overall attitude too, though. I know, okay, so someone who's very near and dear to my heart is in a relationship with someone who's about 8 years older than her. And in the beginning of their relationship, it was a major issue, because he would say things like, he would be saying a sentence with a vocabulary word and then be like, do you know what that means? And she's like, yes, I'm an adult. I know what that word means. But he would assume, since she was younger, that she didn't know.
I mean, I assume most people are stupid too. So.
You're a know-it-all. That's my
I
take it or leave it.
This actually kind of leads me into my next one. I would say this is probably not the worst. I'm going to progressively get worse. So I'll start with my least, which is still probably a lot for a lot of men, but controlling. Or should I say controlling? I think to me that is probably the most annoying aspect, especially in new relationships where women try to control so much. They want to me it screams I understand if you're a mother, and it screams a neurosis that you have a lot of just insecurities, a lot of things that just aren't well emotionally regulated, where you need to control every aspect of not only your life but another person's life. I think that's normal when you have a child, but not when you have a grown adult. Now, women out there are probably gonna be like, but you don't know the type of dudes I'm dating. I'm like, that's your choice. You dated them. That's your fault. That's not my fault. Don't bring that baggage into a new relationship. So I think, to me, that I don't like when someone wants to control every aspect. What are you doing? Where you're at? I find myself, I never actually thought of myself as a free spirit, but I would say I'm actually kind of I'll fucking go where I want. I think yes, you should have some healthy communication along those lines, but at the same point in time, I'm not gonna be completely I mean, I guess it's like a ball and chain, chain down to like the idea of like someone needing to control every aspect of my life. And I agree, like it should be on a spectrum. Of course, you should have owed some duty to people, but I think also within reason. And I don't think knowing where someone's at and controlling every aspect of every hour and accounting every hour of their life and always having instant access to them is healthy.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that control is a byproduct of fear. So if you are experiencing, like viewers, if you are experiencing a woman who is this controlling archetype, it's probably because they have unresolved fear that they need to work through. They might be afraid of cheating. They might be afraid of like your intentions or why if things don't get done, then they're going to fall apart or what have you, any situation.
Yeah,
so,
like I said, being a mom. Like
yeah,
if you're a mom,
right,
like, I can see,
exactly,
like,
exactly.
that's
So a
why
lot
I'm
of
saying.
control is fear-based, and that goes both ways. I think like kind of my know-it-all one goes hand in hand a little bit with control because I think either way you spin it, man or women, being a controlling partner is just unattractive.
10 points to TJ. Well, it's 20 actually now.
10 points to Gryffindor.
What is the next point? So to the ladies.
My second point for another unattractive quality in men would be when they are unhealthy. I have to bring it a little
Like
bit
we're
to the
talking
physical.
about physically.
I am. I'm going to bring it to physical because
Ooh,
I think...
you shallow bitch.
Ooh, you going there. Yeah, I'm going there because here's the truth. I'm a mother, and when I think about having kids or being with someone who is going to help me take care of my kid, you need to be a healthy individual for our lineage to continue.
Yeah.
I'm not going to want to be with someone who is practicing unhealthy habits. They're smoking, or they're drinking too much, or they're doing these things that are going to lead them to early death.
So you're talking about like the frat boys crushing beers every weekend,
yes.
or
No,
smoking and drinking. Like he's like, watch me do this. I'll hold my beer, and it's like, let me get 10 more beers.
No, I'm not about that because I think already women are very driven by security, and part of that security is you being alive.
No,
You gotta be alive.
That's valid. I don't think I really have much against that because I think even I say like this is like when you see like a sloppy man, obviously like there comes like an image into your mind and already. So I think to me like this is the same thing as saying like a sloppy woman. It's like I sound like a dick. I know I'm a dick. I don't need to reinforce this anymore for anybody. But I do agree with you. I don't think I'll give you points. I'll give you points to that one. Taylor receives a half point.
Oh, okay. who? Where is this? Like, I need a rubric. I need
The
something
game
to
is
show.
rigged, and I shall win regardless. Which brings me to my next point. The entitled. You are the most despicable human beings on the planet. She who says she deserves not what she had worked for. I hate entitled bitches. Like, straight up. What the fuck, man? Why have we not fixed this problem? I have not met. There is no more, and I have not met a more entitled person on the planet next to a toddler than a woman in the West.
Oh, damn.
Straight
Oh,
up, the
gosh.
majority of women in the West. I say this,
Yikes.
and I apologize. Maybe it's because of my own cultural heritage and my upbringing. But I just like, if you go anywhere outside the West, you are crazy. You're just straight up crazy. The things you expect out of life, the things you expect. And I say this specifically to women because the key difference between, I would say, men and women in today's era, in the present time, men don't inherently believe they deserve anything they haven't worked for. But women, they're raw out of bed, their shit don't stink, and they think they deserve a prince. Like, there is so much that goes on culturally with this that I'll say, like,
This could be a whole podcast.
This is the whole topic.
Yeah,
but it's like it's everywhere, not just in mainstream media. It's in the religion. It's like the prosperity gospel. It's like, Daddy God wants me to have everything. I'm like, nigga, I was like, Mary was giving birth in the barn, and you think you deserve, a Fendi purse? It's like so crazy to me that we live in this time where everyone is thinks they're like no one wants specifically, I would say women, they don't know how to be average. They just don't know how to be content and be grateful for like just getting the bare minimum. It's just like it has to be excess. I deserve this. It's like, but you haven't done anything really astonishing with your life. Like, I can understand if you're like, you know what? If you're Nicki Minaj and you want to date someone who's in the same tax bracket, I get it. I understand it completely. But you got somebody who's like worth at fucking McDonald's and think like, nah, you need to make like 6 figures.
Why? We gotta change the McDonald's stereotype.
Fine.
Let's be real, okay? Let's be
She
real
works at, Claire's in the mall.
No, let's be even more real. Like esthetician or masseuse.
Oh yeah,
like,
esthetician or a personal trainer. Preschool teacher.
Right.
A secretary. I don't give a crap. Whatever. And it's like there is this inherent belief like that it's like the never settle mentality. And it's like, dude, you really don't deserve all that. Like, and I don't want to sound like, I mean, I probably sound like a chauvinist. I don't
think you do. I don't think you do.
I don't think I do.
I think this is reasonable.
Here's my thing. You can believe what you want, right? I don't care. Like, if you believe you're entitled to a man who's like a millionaire, who's going to do all this stuff, he's going to be 6 foot, and he's going to be only faithful to you, and he's, you're having a grand old time. And I was like, if not, you're going to live in your little witch coven with all your little sisters when you're like 50 years old, and you're praying that the government's going to socially support your lifestyle. Cool. If you want to do that and believe that, that's fine. I'm totally cool with it. I've like made peace with that. I mean, like, I feel sad for a lot of people, and this is where I say I feel sad for a lot of people because I don't think you can give wisdom to a fool. You just can't. You can do what you can to help those who want to be helped. So I guess the people who are listening and the people who realize like, hey, you know what? Maybe my lifestyle and my expectations for life aren't meeting reality. Maybe I keep getting caught up with the wrong type of dude. I keep getting caught up in these bad situations and I don't know what's happening. This is what I would say to you. Men don't find entitled women attractive. They just don't. It's just it's really unfucking attractive. Like, it just screams like, ugh. It just screams unfeminine in my eyes. But I would say, humility, this is what I find. This is probably one of the number one things I look for women. Like, how humble can she be? Like, how does she, like, because humble is.
And gratitude. Which both go hand in hand.
Yeah, humility and gratitude. Is like,
I think everyone could use more of that.
Oh, 100%.
You can never get enough.
Yeah, men too. Like, because of course, there's dudes out there who are going to be like, no, I need a beach with a BBL and she got to have her lips done. She got to be wearing the best. I'm like, nigga, I just need a normal ass chick.
What's a BBL?
Oh, Brazilian butt lift. That's like a thing. That's like a thing. Oh, yeah.
Why am I so sheltered?
That's like a thing. Like, dudes be having some outlandish stuff, but like, my thing is like, Jesus. I think it's more common now. And also, I will say it's a little bit, a lot of women put a lot of pressure on themselves to look a certain kind of way. Like, dude, I was actually just in Sweden, and I was like, dude, I swear to God, this chick looked like she straight up looked like a Barbie, like injected, like lips up to here, like BBL, fake ass hair. I was like, nigga, I don't even know what your jeans look like. It was just crazy. And I was like, she was on this date with this average, like, looking dude. And like, I was just like, you did all that.
So
20 points.
20 points to TJ. I mean,
that's like 50 points.
Okay, so my third unattractive feature that I find in men, lazy.
Ooh.
Lazy.
That's like the hallmark. Yeah. I would say that's like the hallmark of anti-masculine.
Yes, it is. And I think like you already talked about a little bit of the feminine nature, so I'll talk about the masculine nature. When you go against the masculine nature, which I believe is to have a hard worker. Yeah, provide. A hard work ethic. Mm-hmm. When you go against that, then it puts the pressure on the woman to take up that masculine energy and the masculine space. Mm-hmm. And listen, I have no problem taking a time to do that, or I have no problem working hard. But I think if you are innately a lazy person, then it's immediately unattractive for me.
So you're saying like a dude who just like plays video games all day, like that's it. Right. Like he's like
is okay working the same 9 to 5 like for the rest of his life.
He's not trying to progress. Like he's like if he's like, oh, I got this decent job and it's like maybe pays. I don't want to sound like it's always.
I don't want to even put a number to it because I think laziness is a mentality.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
if you're just
he's not trying to do something.
You're not trying to do. You're not trying to work on yourself. You're not trying to work on family stuff. stuff. You're really not trying to learn anything new. You're just like, I'm good.
Yeah, so as long as he's like doing something to either improve the family standing
or himself or anything, just having a greater drive and a greater
there's nothing wrong with that. That's completely satisfactory. I think I would say this to dudes: if you are that type of dude who's lazy as fuck and you're expecting to kind of have like a stay-at-home wife and someone who's going to cook, like basically be your mom.
Yeah,
because this is what
I don't want. And like this is the thing that's so funny because you even mentioned this in this episode. You don't want to have a mom.
I don't need a fucking mom.
I don't want to have another fucking kid. Like, I don't want to be a mom to my partner.
I feel like that is where I've met a lot of women and they'll like come around me and they'll try to be a mom and they kind of like get lost because that's the only
archetype that they know.
That's the only archetype they know. They don't really know how to operate around someone who's like I'm very, like I would say,
independent.
I'm very independent and self-functioning. Like I cook for myself and I cook like healthy meals. Like I cook, clean, do all this stuff, and it's like it's nice. I like the support, but I think it's kind of crazy. Like they'll come around and then it's just like chaos because it's like that's the only way they know how to operate. And I'll be like, what? I totally get it. If you're around a dude who's a fucking bum and he's not like driving towards anything, totally understand. I would not be cooking and cleaning and doing all that stuff for that dude. If he's not going to drive to better either your standing or his children's standing or just either maybe even enhancing himself. Like if he's going to counseling, maybe like I would even understand those things. Like if he's working towards improving himself in a certain area, then yes, I think you should definitely stay in that feminine energy and take up maybe a little bit of that masculine energy if the situation calls for it. But it's like when it's over time, when it's just like his default is like I'm a lazy fucking bum, then yeah, I think there's something really wrong with that. Yeah. So I'll give you 0.75 points.
Who put you in charge of giving points? I get 20 points.
0.5 points.
I get 20
negative
points.
Negative 10 points. I think that actually is a great lead-in, Taylor, because you know what is my last and probably I would say the top one in my life.
I can't imagine what this is going to be because I thought Entitled would have been your first pick.
Entitled is like, it's the combination storm. The last of the combination is this. So I can't take a bitch. Sorry. I can't take a woman who is controlling, entitled, and then on top of that has a goddamn mouth. Like, what in the what? So
I hate that phrase, has a goddamn mouth. First of all, dude, every woman has a mouth.
So the phrase a mouth. But I'll say this, it's just the attitude. I can't do the attitude. Because here's my thing. I'm a pretty chill, copacetic person up until the point, like, if you have an attitude with me. Then I'm like, I think for me, I'm like, look, you won't bring that masculine energy, I promise you I'll bring a whole bucket of masculine energy. And you're not. I'm like, this is my natural state. So I think for me, I can't deal with the attitude.
Give me an example.
Let's say something is bothering a woman. And I'm like, let's say I've had a long day at work. I've dealt with a lot of people. And the issue is she doesn't feel like loved. Instead of, being like, hey, honey, can we sit down? Can we talk about this? Can we like work through this? And like say like, I just feel like lately you've been working a lot. And I would like for us to like sit down and set aside some time for us to go on a date. I'll even organize it, X, Y, Z. And it's like, and I really just want us to spend quality time. Instead of doing that, that bitch, she's gonna like send you all these passive ass texts, have all this passive body language at you, like fucking
cook herself dinner and not bring you anything.
Like, let's say you're like planning to go somewhere and you had like plans. She's like, it's like, oh, I didn't know we were doing that.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, never mind. It's like, so you were feeling some type of way. And she just chooses not to communicate directly.
And instead give attitude.
And instead give attitude.
I get it.
You've now taken the situation that already had like a ton of negative emotions. And instead of being like, hey, let's walk this back, it's like, nah, fuck it. Let's push it over the edge.
I see.
And then like, of course, my natural response is one of two things. It's like, hey, you can be healthy or you can be toxic.
TJ's favorite phrase: keep that same energy.
Keep that same energy,
bro.
Keep that same energy, nigga. I'm coming for you.
You want to be passive aggressive? I'd be aggressive.
I'll be aggressive. That's actually accurate. So it's like, I think for me, that's what I've just realized is like, I think that I would love for someone who has like the not have an attitude, but just like communicate. Like, if you really, it's like taking the time to break down and understanding your emotions and what you're feeling. Like, hey, sure. You want something, it's better. My grandma always used to say this, and I swear it's probably the best advice. Closed mouths don't get fed. If you want your man to love you, fucking tell him. Just tell him. Men are not mind readers. Instead, you annoy a man, and you think that's going to get him to love you. That's actually going to get him to love you less.
Yeah.
It's literally...
This is hard because, like, in one of my podcasts, I talk a little bit about how our childhood relationships shape our adulthood relationships, and how everything we learn in childhood is essentially to protect us and to seek love, okay? So if we as women, I would say majority of women, grow up in a household where passive communication gets us love. So the passive cold shoulder or the silent treatment or
that's also
all
on
of
the
these
dad
things
too.
Get us love. And that also is the same with female intergender relationship. So we're very passive to one another because direct communication is kind of frowned upon.
Direct confrontation is always harder for people as they get older.
And it's viewed as very aggressive.
But you'll notice
women,
kids when they're kids, they directly confront each other. You stole my friend. You stole my toy. Like, you're not being nice to me. And then now it's like, you know what? I gave your friend a blowjob because I didn't like you. it's like, what? Why?
Where'd you pull that one out?
I don't know. It's like, no, let's talk about TJ's journals. It's like, I met this chick once, like, she was mad at a dude, so she slept with his best friend. And then went into a relationship with that dude. And then
we see this all the time on social media. People glorifying their
toxicity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I've seen. I've seen some.
The best thing to do
is communicate. It's
direct.
literally. It's like people are like hurting, and they're like, "Let me take this knife. Let me stab myself, and stab him, and stab myself." Because that's easier to tell you what I feel.
Let me take this knife and stab myself so that he feels bad for me.
It's like, what the F? Where are we living in? And yeah, so I think that's like my top one, because the reason why it's my top, and let me clarify, over like controlling, not that I want to deal with it, over like, entitlement, not that I want to deal with it, communication, the attitude, that's like the very format of your interactions and the basis of your relationship. So if that's not even right.
If that can't be right, then.
If that's not even right, like, you're not even going to get to trying to work through talking about entitlement. You're not going to get to work through the anxiety of the controlling and stuff like that. We can't even, on the basis of it, your ass can't even tell me what you're fucking feeling without it turning into a fight.
Right.
So then there's like 15 layers in between there and here.
Yeah.
So I think for me, that is probably when I meet a woman, if she can't have that conflict resolution and she can't deal with conflict and talk through it, and she starts being passive aggressive, that to me already tells me in my mind, like, this is not going to work out.
That's fair. That's fair.
But I understand yours too. I think yours as well is like men being know-it-all. I get it. Men not being physically in shape and men being lazy.
Unhealthy,
like those are unhealthy, not physically in shape. But it's like those are all as well things that I think are just really unattractive. So if you're doing those things, stop. Stop.
But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to our channel so you can see more awesome
If there's other things
videos.
you hate too, let us know.
Let us know. What do you hate?
What do
you hate?
Toxic.
And as always,
stay toxic.
If you're ready for real relationships
and real connection,
let's get
stay
started.
toxic.
No.